This thing, this is a 3 to 9 variable. It's at 9. I'm gonna crank it back to 3 so maybe I can see. Hey, there we go. I got 2 rounds through it. All right, I have nothing. Trigger's dead. Magazine is stuck. Mag is stuck. Chambered the cartridge. And it's doing the same. There it goes. Same thing. I got nothing. Not even a mark on the primer. PMC X-Tech, I'm sorry, PMC Bronze. Full mag. I don't know, maybe DesertTech wants to come out and tell me how I'm pulling the trigger wrong. Bolt is locked open. For f***'s sake. Let's see what happens. See if it's ammo. It's not ammo. Good morning. It is October 16th. This is Matt from 2A Cops, and I am out here at the range bright and early. I was hoping to beat everybody out here, but there's one guy already here, so you may hear some gunfire in the background. Anyway, I'm out here today at the range with this DesertTech MDRx. This has been a very long, drawn-out drama bullshit that a customer at Boise Black Rifle has been going through for 2.5 years. I have like 6 pages of notes here so that I can go through this thing from start to finish so you can understand where he's coming from and where we are coming from. We being me working at Boise Black Rifle. So I'm gonna throw my glasses on so I can read my notes. The gun was originally purchased on April 14th of 2023. He took it to the range, got some rounds through it, and then it started having all kinds of malfunctions. The malfunctions he was encountering were the projectile was getting smashed back into the case. So far into the case that the tip wasn't even protruding from the tip of the case. So some serious feeding issues. On July 23rd, so 3 months after he bought, or July of 23, sorry, 3 months after he bought the gun, he sends it back to DesertTech for repairs. They had the gun for 7 months. He got the gun back on February 22nd of 2024. 7 months that they had the gun. He took it to the range the next day. He got 90 rounds through it, so 3 mags, and then he started having malfunctions again. He, while he was shooting, gun went click. He goes to rack the round out, and he can't move the charging handle. They were able to get the mag out, although it was stuck. So he had to forcefully rip the mag out of the gun. Still couldn't get the bolt to move. So he's at a indoor public range. He went over and grabbed the gunsmith. The gunsmith came over to look at his gun. They're doing this on the range because it's a hot gun. He couldn't get the gun to rack open either. Manually trying to cycle the gun open, they couldn't get it open. So on the DesertTech, these ejection ports, there's one side has got the ejector, the other side is the ejection port. You can flip it. They pull off the ejection port side of the gun, and you can see that they could see that the hammer had fallen and was on the firing pin. They manually forced the hammer back. I don't know if they used their fingers or stuck a tool in there, one way or the other. They were able to force the hammer back into the cocked position, and they tried to fire the gun again. They did this 4 or 5 times with no success. The gun is locked up. It's got a live round in the chamber. So the gunsmith says, hey, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to just have to send this thing back. While the gunsmith takes off, the customer's packing things up. He's like, I'm going to try it one more time. So he manually cocks the hammer again, cranks off, pulls the trigger, and the round finally cranks off. He just left it at that point, put it in his bag, went home. The following day, he got a hold of us at Boise Black Rifle, and Will, the store manager, went with him to the range. They went out there, loaded a mag, dropped charging handle, charged the gun. The very same thing happened. Pull the trigger, nothing goes off. Can't lock, the bolt is now locked. They cannot get it to cycle. They pull off the ejection cover, manually cock the hammer a couple times, still nothing happens. In the process of trying to do all this to get the gun back into a safe condition, while they're trying to manually cock the hammer, the tool slips, the hammer falls, and the gun goes off. Thank God it was pointed in a safe direction and no one was hurt. At that point, they're like, we're done. Pack the bag up, head back home. They get a hold of, the customer gets a hold of DesertTech on February 27th. DesertTech says, yep, something's wrong with your gun, we're gonna replace it. So he sends the gun back. That was February 27th. On March 7th, DesertTech acknowledges in response to an email the customer says, asking, hey, have you got my gun yet? What's going on with it? DesertTech says, yep, we got your gun on the 7th. And so on March 20th, the customer receives his new gun. In what I'm finding to be typical DesertTech fashion, DesertTech screwed up and didn't send the new gun with the new serial number that's never been released to anybody directly to the customer. You can't do that. Customer knows you can't do that. He calls us, we're like, yep, bring the gun into the store, we'll receive it, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do with it. So the customer brings the gun to the store, we receive it, and at that point, the customer's like, you know what? This is a $2,800 nightmare. I don't want any part of it. This gun's brand new, it's never been fired, it's never been released to a person other than DesertTech incorrectly sending it to him. He's like, I just want to sell it. So we're okay, cool, brand new gun. We throw it on the wall. We put it on the wall and we're going to sell it for the customer. It sits on the wall for over a year. That was on March 20th of 2024. On July 21st of 2025, so a year and 4 months later, the customer finally goes, you know what, no one's buying it. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll take it. So he takes it home. We do the paperwork on it, he takes it home and goes to the range. Loads a mag, gets 28 rounds to fire through the brand new gun that DesertTech sent him to replace the broken gun. The 29th round fails to fire. It goes click, nothing happens. He takes the mag out, tries to rack it out, it doesn't eject, so it's not extracting the round. So rack, it finally comes out. Puts the mag back in. Oh, I'm sorry, when he went to pull the mag out, it was stuck again, just like the previous thing. So he has to forcefully remove the mag. Now he's got the empty gun, because he's racked the round out of it, puts the mag back in, drops the bolt, he gets a couple more rounds through it, and then the same thing. Click, nothing, no bang. Mag is stuck, forcefully removes the mag, rack, finally comes out. He does this a couple of times. The rounds are all showing light primer strikes. At this point, he's like, screw it, I'm done again. That was with the new mag. So on his second mag, he can't get through a couple of rounds. He does it a bunch of times, finally gives up. Doesn't even try a third mag. So same day, this is the day he picked the gun up. Went to the range, the gun's malfunctioning on the second mag. Actually, at the end of the first mag and all the way through the second mag. So he's like, emails customer service at DesertTech and says, the new gun is just as broke as the first gun. I would like a refund. Totally reasonable. It's a lemon. He's gone on the second gun, and neither of them have functioned. DesertTech says, nope, sorry, we're not giving you a refund. DesertTech tells him that he's not adjusting his gas settings properly. They ask him what the gas setting was. He tells them, it's exactly the way you sent it to me. It's on N for normal. Customer goes to the range again on the 23rd, so 2 days later, tries to shoot the gun. First round going into the gun, out of the magazine, it sinks the projectile into the case, just like the first gun did. He can't even get the gun to chamber around. So he's like, screw it, done, goes home. Sends him another email on the 23rd. This is 2 days later. Says, look, I went to the range again. The gun is still doing the same thing. It's seating the rounds into the cartridge. I just want a refund. Take this thing back, give me my money back, and we'll just call it even. DesertTech sends him an email 2 days later on the 25th and tells him, look, man, your gas settings are wrong. I don't know why they're suggesting his gas settings are a problem when you are manually loading the first round out of a magazine and it's having a feeding issue. That cannot possibly be a gas setting. So I don't know if they're not reading his emails or if they're just retarded or what. But they're telling him it's a gas setting when he's trying to charge the gun with the first round in a fresh mag, not a gas. 5 days later, he emails them back and says, look, I took the gun to the range again and I can't get it to even chamber around. They email him back and said, sorry, we can't help you until you try adjusting your gas settings. Can you see my eyes bugging out of my head? Are you f***ing kidding me? The gun won't chamber around out of a fresh mag. They're telling him they aren't going to help him because he hasn't tried to adjust his gas settings. This is f***ing ridiculous. This is coming from Nicholas Carmichael, who is their warranty manager at DesertTech. He's the one telling him, unless you try to adjust your gas settings, there's nothing we can do for you. I have the email. I'm going to put it here on the screen and I'm going to read it to you.
It looks like the gas settings on your rifle haven't been adjusted yet. Without that step, I'm unable to determine whether the issue you're experiencing may be related to a manufacturing defect. As such, I can't move forward with a return or refund at this time. Could you please send a video of you shooting the rifle using the following gas settings? -S, -N, and plus. That will help us better assess the situation and guide you accordingly.
You saw exactly what he said. The customer sends him an email and says, look, this is the problem I'm having. It has nothing to do with the gas settings. And they keep telling him to adjust his gas settings. And they're sending him links to their little videos on how to adjust the gas settings. All right, so customer just kind of stops bugging him for a couple days. On August 5th of this year, so we are 2.5 months ago, customer sends the gun back to DesertTech for repair again. They finally let him send it in. On August 8th, DesertTech sends him an email, says, hey, look, we got your gun. We've put 60 rounds through it. It's functioning perfectly fine. No malfunctions. DesertTech at that point says, look, the gun is working perfectly fine. We're not going to give you a refund. The customer, who has had nothing but problems with this gun and the previous one. By the way, let me just lay into this a little bit here. This is not a guy who's never owned a firearm. This is not your first gun you buy. A $2,800 bullpup is not the first gun you buy. He's a very good customer of ours. He owns a lot of guns. He is not a new shooter. The guy is almost my age. He's a couple years younger than me. And he's been shooting as long as I have, almost. The guy is a squared away dude. It's not some idiot who doesn't know how to function a firearm. So they're telling him that the gun is functioning fine. He says, look, can you just send me a video that shows you guys putting at least 2 mags through the gun so that I can see that that gun is actually functioning. That was on August 8th. On August 11th, DesertTech responds, and the Nicholas Carmichael, the customer, the warranty manager, sends him an email and tells him that he's very frustrated with my customer because of the problems he's been having with this gun. Oh, really? You're frustrated? Can you imagine if you had spent $2,800 on a gun and you can't get through 4 magazines without it malfunctioning? Hell, can't even get the gun to chamber around anymore. So, yeah, you're frustrated. Then he sends him a video, and by the way, he says, please note, this video is intended for your viewing only. Customer never signed any kind of NDAs or anything like that. You can't send a guy a video and tell him he can't show it to anybody else. Doesn't work that way. So, speaking of that video, here it is right here. And tell me if this guy's got an attitude problem.
Hey Damon, you sent an email after I already told you that your rifle had worked perfectly. Here's proof. This is the ammunition I'm using. Browning 223, 55 grain, 3,240 FPS, full metal jacket, training and practice ammo. I've loaded 30 rounds in this mag. This is proof that it works. I've already shot 60 rounds out of it. Just a waste of ammo at this point. Ta-da! Now I'll load up another mag. Ten. $18. There's 30. That'll be 60 more out of the same rifle. It works.
They're just wasting money at this point. They're wasting ammo. How do you think the customer feels? So that was on August 11th. On the 15th, the customer sends them an email and says, look, I just want my money back. Keep the gun. And at this point, DesertTech just stops responding to him. They have his gun. They're not giving him a refund, and they just completely start ignoring him. So that was August 15th. He asked for a refund. Doesn't hear anything from them. Weeks. On September 3rd, sends them an email and says, hey, I haven't heard from you. What's up? Are you going to give me a refund? Still doesn't hear anything back from them. On September 12th, customer sends him another email. Hey, what's going on with my gun? Can you give me an update? Can I get a refund? Still nothing. The company is not even responding to him at this point. On the 16th, so more than a month since he sent that first email asking for a refund, or I shouldn't say the first email, like the 6th email asking for a response, or for a refund. But more than a month, he has not heard from them. He finally gets an answer. They said, hey, sorry, we're trying to send your gun back, but FedEx won't let us ship guns right now. Okay, so you can't ship via UPS or the post office, or I don't know, you're 5 hours from Boise, drive your ass up here and deliver the guy's gun. Or, I don't know, answer his fucking emails. So, DesertTech finally, and by the way, in that email, they're like, hey, look, we're trying to send you your gun. FedEx isn't allowing us to ship, but the gun is functioning fine. Your ammo needs to be crimped. So they're telling him that the ammo that he's been shooting, which is not crimped ammo, which runs fine in every other friggin' gun, won't run in their gun. So they're telling him to use crimped ammo. They give him a list of ammo to use, and in that list, they say PMC bronze is perfectly fine. I have mags loaded with PMC bronze right here. I have not shot this gun. I also have mags with Scorpio, and I have some PMC X-Tac. 62 grain steel core, green tips. He gets his gun back and just kind of ignores the gun for a little while because he's just pissed at this point, rightfully so. On October 14th, so 2 days ago, he takes it to the range and he manages to get 100 rounds through it. So this is the most ammo that he's ever got through the gun without any malfunctions. After 100 rounds, guess what starts happening? He's getting malfunctions yet again. He also said that during that 100 rounds, the gun started smoking like crazy, like they had just dumped oil in it to get it to run smooth. He gets 100 rounds through it, and he starts having malfunctions. For that matter, he actually gave me the cartridges that he was having the malfunctions with. So you can see right there what it's doing to the projectile as it's trying to load it. In the case, this one doesn't have any damage. So he's having feeding issues yet again. You can see right here on this cartridge what it did to the case as it tried to load it. There's also, I feel it back, yep, there's a big old score on it back here. And let's see, and then here's the third one. So again, right here at the neck, it's got a big old ding in it. The gun is, again, experiencing feeding issues. So far, he's successfully managed to get a whopping 100 rounds through this gun consecutively without malfunctions. That is unacceptable for a $300 rifle, let alone a nearly $3,000 rifle. So, that's the drama. I'm going to reposition some cameras here, and I'm going to pick this thing up, throw a mag in it, and I'm going to see if it'll actually run. All right. So, here's the gun. You can see I'm able to use a charging handle, no issues. First mag I'm going to start with because they specifically said PMC bronze is fine. This is a Magpul T-Mag. Actually, it appears to have chambered. Let's see what happens here. His optic is not my, there we go. This is a 3 to 9 variable. It's at 9. I'm gonna crank it back to 3 so maybe I can see. Hey, there we go. I got 2 rounds through it. All right, I have nothing. Trigger's dead. Magazine is stuck. All right. This round appears to be undamaged. The bolt, yep. All right, so we got a feeding issue. Let's see if I can get this thing to, you know what, I'm gonna get my cell phone. All right, so what do we got going on here? Can you see in the mag well there? See if I can get this thing to focus in there a little better. there is a round stuck trying to go into the chamber. All right, so that's malfunction number 1 after 2 successful fired rounds. So let's see. Oh shit. That was a failure to eject that somehow got pushed back into the chamber. This is a spent round that never came out. Let me look at the gas setting here real quick. This is, by the way, he did not adjust the gas setting. This is how they send it back to him. And if I remember right, when we looked at this thing yesterday, I gotta get my reading glasses on because I can't see shit. I think it is on suppressed. I can't tell. I'm gonna crank it up 1. There's an N, so that should be normal. And just so I'm not gonna screw this up, this is the round I used to adjust the gas block. I am not gonna stick that round back in there. All right, bolt is locked open. PMC bronze. Let's see if I can get a 3rd round out of it. I will say, from a shooter standpoint, it's weird watching brass do that. Well, I will say, I got 27 rounds through there so far. That was the X-Tac. I'm sorry, that was the PMC bronze. This is 62 grain X-Tac. Nope, damn it, not used to the controls on this one. All right, so there is almost 60 rounds, almost 60 rounds. This is Scorpio, STV Scorpio 223, not on their list of approved ammo. I've run a couple cases of this in my own guns and had absolutely 0 problems with it. I don't own one of these though. So let's see what happens here. Get it. Oh, mag is stuck. It took a round. So top of the mag should be, for a fully loaded mag, the round on the top will be on the right. Currently I have a round on the left. So it did load that round. Bolt is fully forward. And I can see the I cannot get it. I can see the bolt in there. I'm sorry, the round in there. I'm not sure if this camera, yep, there you go. So you can see the round in there, but there it goes. It finally kicked it over. Now it should come out. I don't see any damage to the, oh yeah. But that could have just been me trying to eject the damn thing. There is no primer strike. So, bolt was locked open. Dropped the bolt, and I got a click. But, firing pin never actually hit the primer. Oh, bolt locked open. Mag is stuck. Chambered the cartridge. And it's doing the same. There it goes. Same thing. I got nothing. Not even a mark on the primer. All right, I'm gonna set this gun down and let's see if this is potentially a bad batch. Sorry, I was off camera there. I set the gun down. I'm gonna take this mag of this ammo, throw it in another gun, and see if the ammo could potentially be the problem here. Looking at that, the primer's a little bit recessed. It shouldn't be an issue, but who knows? Optic on, optic is on. All right, so this is my Thor SAR. I've had this gun, oh geez, maybe a decade? Wife bought it for me. Don't shoot it all that often. I do like it. It's just, I'm more of an AR guy. Let's see what happens. See if it's ammo. It's not ammo. Another odd thing. There's no damage to these. So, bolt's locked open on that guy. I'm gonna take the same mag I was just shooting and put it back into the DesertTech. Bolt is locked open. For fuck's sake. PMC X-Tech, 62 grain. You know, I'm not gonna run a 20 round mag because I don't have enough to hang on to try and extract it. PMC X-Tech, I'm sorry, PMC Bronze. Full mag. I don't know, maybe DesertTech wants to come out and tell me how I'm pulling the trigger wrong. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm gonna dig through some of these rounds that are on the floor here, on the ground, and see what the hell I got. Hey, I'm gonna throw this out there. There is a giant upside to when you come out to the range with the DesertTech MDRx. You don't have to wear your ear pro because the thing doesn't fire. All right, let's pick up some of this live ammo. There's a whole lot of it down here. and see what I got going on. Oh, there's another one, and another one. All right, PMC, they've all got light primer strikes. Here's PMC with no primer strike whatsoever. Here's a PMC with maybe a primer strike. Here's a round that got jacked up going into the chamber. PMC bronze, super light primer strike. This is Scorpio STV, very, very, very light primer strike. This is PMC bronze, very, very light primer strike. The case is all jacked up. Most of these have got some scratch marks and stuff on them. I don't know if that's from going into the chamber or from it being a, whoops, throwing rounds around, or it being a pain in the ass trying to eject the jacked up, didn't go off round out of the gun. Here's a Scorpio, very, very light primer strike. Here's PMC bronze, very, very light primer strike. So something's definitely going on. The gun worked, you saw it work for 57 rounds, and it has not fired another round since the 57th round. Nothing else has functioned. I don't know how many rounds I've put through it trying to get it to shoot, but I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. It's a piece of shit. Hey, I got 57 rounds through it. That's half as many as he got. So call me crazy. If I go out and I buy a $2,800 rifle and I skimp on it and I put like really shitty optics on it. Oh, wait a minute. An EOTech Voodoo is not a shitty optic. This isn't a guy who buys cheap guns. I'm a guy who buys cheap guns. This is not a cheap gun. It's a $2,800 rifle. This gun doesn't run for shit, and the company has been a complete asshole to this customer. So this is, don't buy anything from this company. DesertTech. I did forget to mention, I posted a picture of that rifle yesterday, and I tagged him, DesertTech, in it, and I kind of laid out a quick, this has been I said over a year long saga. I was totally incorrect. It's over 2 years long, 2.5 years saga that he's been going through with this gun. DesertTech liked my Instagram post, which a couple people noted in the comments that they found it funny that I was shit talking DesertTech and they liked the post. So anyway, I'm not gonna keep trying on this thing. It's done, it's cooked. Don't forget, these are the guns of the future. It says right on their website, right? Arms of the future, guns of the future. I don't remember exactly what it says. Yeah, they're guns of the future because they don't fucking work right now. So, yeah, I mean, you be the judge.